Hello and welcome to a bit of a different video here. This is a bit of an excuse video of why I haven't been putting up videos quite as frequent as I would like to, and that is because life has been really crazy of the past couple weeks. A lot has been going on, and I figured I'd just give you a little video of what's going on and where I've been, and just show you some of the stuff that happened. It's been good things. It hasn't been bad things, just been crazy, hectic with a lot of cool things. So first thing is, as you can see kind of playing right now is some pictures. I went to the regular car reviews meet. This is, I think, the second or third time they've done it. And it was a really great experience. A lot of these pictures of people I got to talk to at the meet, as you just saw, there was Mr. Regular's car. A bunch of really great people, got to talk with these people and just BS and have a good time. And actually, one of the people there suggested using my Jeep for a group photo, and we took that, and you actually can't see it in the group photo, but after they finished, I asked for as many people as were willing to and could fit on the back of the Jeep if they could get on my Jeep. And as you can see, here's the result. The Jeep was straining through all of this, but it was just worth the picture and the experience and capturing all these wonderful people I got to talk to. One thing that happened though was after the show ended, per se, it was getting late and a bad thunderstorm rolled through, and unfortunately the FC isn't that great in the rain, let alone at nighttime when the headlights aren't that great. And of course, about 10 feet into the rain, my wipers quit. No, I still haven't got to fixing that or figuring out what happened, but as you can see from the video I posted, it wasn't very pleasant of a experience driving. It was like that the entire way, and it was an hour and like 30-minute drive. It was something. So that was a great experience. But after that, it was followed by the next experience, which I'll show you. And so the next thing that was on the list was the IndyCar race at Pocono Raceway, which was actually my first ever circle track race that I've ever been to. I've always wanted to go to NASCAR, always wanted to go to IndyCar and stuff, and never really did it. And there was always talks about IndyCar not running at Pocono anymore, so I decided, you know what, I have to go to one. So I ended up going and talked to my brother, and he talked to his boss and got his boss to go. We all went together and just had a really good time. As you can see, some of the video I have from the experience, just kind of trying to take it all in. We moved around a bit when we were there. We initially started pretty close to the start-finish line, as you'll see from this footage, and after a little bit we wanted to try some different spots because after all, this was kind of our first time doing this. So we moved from there. I tried sitting close to the exit of turn 3, as you'll see in some of the later shots. And that was alright. Then after that, my brother actually had wandered down to the other side towards the end of pit lane, and that's where we ended up for the end of the race. And we actually felt that that was a pretty good spot for it, because when you are there, you can see the end of turn 3, pretty much the entire front stretch, obviously. Turn 1 you can see in its entirety, and turn 2 you can see most of, or well, some of turn 2, You lose towards the end of turn 2. And just let you enjoy some of the sights and sounds from this, and I'll give a little recap towards the end. After that little clip of the exciting kind of pit stop, and this is the last lap, last 2 laps I should say. The whole experience was really nice. I was kind of surprised at the turnout. There, as you can see, there's a lot of empty spaces there. It was actually really nice. The ability to move around was nice. Go where I didn't like these seats, let's move to another one. Not having assigned seats like normal sporting events was actually kind of nice. So we moved about, and I kind of look forward to seeing more races at Pocono. Try to go to a NASCAR race and see some other things there. And I think this is kind of the start of me trying to go to more racing events. I would like to go to Watkins Glen and do some, go watch one of the races there, watch some vintage racing is something I really want to do. But that was Pocono, and that was a really good time. And actually shortly after that was the next event, which was the solar eclipse. So I have some footage and pictures from that, which I'll switch to now. Okay, so the footage you see here is actually a time lapse that I was shooting. I had the idea for this because obviously I'm obsessed with my Jeep, so I wanted to try to get the Jeep in the shot, and I didn't really have high hopes for this because it's just a standard GoPro, and we were only expecting where I live and where I was shooting this about 70% coverage, so I had a feeling that was going to be too bright for the GoPro regardless, and it turned out to be, but I did get some really cool time-lapse of just the Jeep with the sky in the background, and it was a really pretty day. The cloud coverage was a bit frustrating at times with the eclipse, obviously, because you go from being able to see it to not being able to see it. One of the unfortunate things about where I picked to shoot the footage and watch it was I chose to do it at a local park that was close to my work. I left for lunch a little bit late than normal, and went into, as you see me trying to chase off some of these sweat bees there. I tried to kind of do this during my lunch break, take an extended lunch break, and then work late. And this park, for whatever reason, decided that Monday during the solar eclipse would be the perfect time to mow the grass. So I didn't really have a backup plan, so I just kind of sat there and dealt with the mower noise. Otherwise, it would have been a beautiful place because it's a very scenic park. It's on a farm, quite literally on a farm, and but you have mountain ranges all around you, and it's really scenic. And it just happened to have nothing but lawnmower noises the entire time, which was unfortunate. The other thing that was unfortunate was I accidentally broke my solar binoculars I was going to use. And so I only had one lens that was working. So I pulled that out of the binoculars and just held that lens up to my eye, closed the other eye, and that worked fine. It was actually probably overprotective because it was designed for filtering out the magnified light, because that light is going to get magnified by the binoculars, and since I didn't have the binoculars attached, it was probably a bit overkill. But that's pretty much how I viewed it, and it was pretty amazing. Even with the partial totality and the scenery being kind of ruined by the lawnmowers, I still enjoyed it. It was nice to see it and just kind of get perspective of what's going on. And the other thing it really did was it made me really want to see a full solar eclipse in totality. And I definitely am going to make plans for the, I believe, was it 2024? The next time there's the total solar eclipse through the U.S., and that is going to actually go through Lake Erie, and it would be cool to try to see Lake Erie, like watch it from on Lake Erie, which I'm sure tons of people are going to do. But I think that would be cool. It's a big lake. I'm sure we can find a nice open spot that isn't full of boats. So that would be something I would like to do for that, and just try to get into full totality. And I think full totality on the middle of a lake, like as far, if we could go out pretty far into the lake, a few miles, so there's not much around, I think that'd be really cool. The other thing that I was thinking about was possibly trying to do the one in Antarctica, which is in 2019. That one would be more difficult to figure out, but I would like to figure that out because, once again, this setting of where that eclipse would be really cool, and that's something Kurt J. Mac, who I watch his videos and streams, was talking about. He would like to try to organize, and I think that's something I would really like to do, and I'll try to figure that out. But with that, I think I'll quick switch over to some of the eclipse pictures I have. And the pictures I got were pretty good. They came out better than I expected. These were just taken with my phone, and what I did was there was two pieces to the part of the lens for the binoculars. There was a thick plastic, or actually it was glass because one shattered. There was a thick glass lens that did most of the blocking, and then there was a little thin tinted one that did very little as far as the blocking of the sun. It was about equivalent to a pair of sunglasses as far as the tinting, and I used that and angled it and just tried to get the reflection right, so you'll see the source of light where the sun is, and then the eclipse is actually kind of mirrored off to the side from the reflection, and it came out pretty cool with the tinting and the clouds. I'm quite happy with how those came out. And that kind of concluded the solar eclipse for me, and then after that was done, I went back to work and worked late to make up for taking an extended lunch. And after the eclipse, the next thing I had was my brother invited me to go to a local fair and watch some demolition derby, so I got to watch some Wreckfest live. So I have some footage from that, which we'll switch to now. So here's the first bit of footage I have. The demolition derby actually started off with some of the these were the mid-size, I believe, where they were called, that were left over from the night prior. So these guys were already pretty beat up. And then actually this is the first of many of the smaller class. I don't think this was my first demolition derby. I've been to a few, if I remember right, but this is the first one in a very long time. Like I said, I can barely remember. I think I remember going to one when I was really young, and it's been a long time. And of course, as a kid, and even recent times, I still try to watch stuff with demolition derbies and those demolition circle tracks, stuff like that. I love it. Obviously, it's destruction. It's fun to watch. But this one was just a good time because, once again, I get to spend time with my brother, second time in a short period of time. This was the IndyCar race happened on Sunday, the eclipse was on Monday, and then this was on Wednesday. So in a span of 3 days, I was doing crazy things. And actually, I should point out that the regular car reviews meet was on Saturday night. So I did Saturday night was the car meet. Then it was IndyCar on Sunday, Eclipse on Monday, and Demolition Derby on Wednesday. So this is what I mean when it was crazy, but it was good. It was good kind of crazy. It was constant, just doing things and having a good time. Back to the Demolition Derby itself. I gotta say, just watching it, I can't believe people that do this. I know they're doing it on the cheap. I know the whole point of this is doing it for cheap, but not having a racing seat is crazy to me. I would want something at least for head support. These people are running the stock seats, and that I would just buy one good racing seat and then move it from one car to the next and save my body. But this was a particularly crazy part of the Demolition Derby, that silver car that's in the center of the screen right now. That car, I don't understand how it was driving and surviving. It doesn't resemble a car. And it died twice and then came back to life twice, and it just didn't seem like it wanted to quit until they got to the kind of gentleman's rule at the end where they just backed up, slammed into each other, backed up, slammed into each other, which is this footage here, and it finally gave out. But it was really impressive that car even survived as long as it did, and that was cool. But unfortunately, I didn't get to stay for the whole entire thing. This was actually the last heat that I watched. It was the last, actually I think it was the second to last heat, and at this point it was about 11 o'clock at night because they started at 7 p.m. and it was getting cold, which I wasn't prepared for. I was in shorts and a t-shirt, and other thing was, after the heats, they had the finals, and then they had the finals of the other event that was before this, of the more mid-sized cars. So it was going to go well past midnight because it takes quite a bit of time to tow all these cars out of the arena. So at that point, I was like, I need to go home and get some sleep because I have work tomorrow. So unfortunately, I didn't get to stay for the whole thing, but it was a really good time, and I really enjoyed it. And I hope to go to more in the future. And that was pretty much the end of that week's craziness. However, after that week, we ended up with another event, which was a kind of yearly thing where I go fishing with my grandfather. My grandfather's now in his 80s. We've been fishing with him, or he's been fishing like once a year. Usually we go walleye fishing on Lake Erie. For over 20 years he's been doing it. But this past year we decided, after going on a salmon charter, that we wanted to try that, or he wanted to try that. So we actually went up to Lake Ontario to go fishing for salmon, king salmon. We did troll fishing, which is actually, I'll switch over to that footage now as the wrecking of Fess is ending. Alright, so here we have some pictures I have from the trip. But so we troll fish, which is when you move at like about 1 to 3 miles per hour, and you drag your lines at a specific height and try to get the fish that way. Like I said, this was the first time doing it. We didn't really know what we were doing, and actually, kind of, since we didn't know what we were doing, we spent my entire time there. I was there for 3 days, just kind of learning. Didn't get a single bite, didn't catch anything, but it was nice to just go on the boat, spend time with my grandfather, and just relax. The only downside, which we really ran into, was that the building we were staying in was a bit sketchy, as you can see from the pictures and videos I have. I can't imagine this thing was touched since the 80s. The wiring was sketchy, the plumbing was sketchy, place looked grody, everything looked dirty, but the location was convenient, which we had our own slip. We were right there by the water, literally like 10 feet from the water, so the location was great. The place we were sleeping, not so much. We ended up buying sheets from a store and pillows and sleeping bags to sleep in, because we didn't want to be anywhere close to touching the mattresses and everything else there. I actually slept on the couch. And yeah, that was interesting. So sleep wasn't that great, especially once I found out the pictures which you see of the foundation. Once I saw that, that was even more a bit of eye-opening of, oh yeah, that's where I'm sleeping. Let's hope this doesn't fall in the middle of the night. But overall, that was a good time, and that kind of concluded the craziness, temporarily, of what's going on. And that was the last thing that I did. However, as I am recording this now, I'm actually planning for a trip to Germany, which is going to be a great time, and I'm sure I'll do a video on that once I go. I'll try to take lots of pictures and videos of when I go, and I'm planning on meeting up with some of the people I've met online, which is NCW. He's actually going to be staying with me. He's visiting Germany, and he's going to kind of just hang out with me when we're there. And I'm also going to try to visit Sebi while I'm there, and see him and have a Team Beer and Whiskey reunion. So that should be cool. I'm really excited for that. Anxious because of you know, all the things of I haven't traveled that far in a long time and everything else that goes with traveling, but I'm excited, very, very excited. But I hope that catches you up with why I haven't posted videos, if you even cared. But I figured it'd be cool to let you see all the crazy, awesome things that have been going on with life and how busy I've been and how great things have been. So, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, and I'm editing the Jeep Desk videos to have them go out and a constant stream until it's done, till completion. So that should be going the entire time I'm on vacation in Germany. Everything should keep going and be done because the desk is done. I'm currently sitting at it recording with it, and it's grand, and you'll get to see it in those videos. So have a good one.